All right, people, what up? It's your boy Cheek from Guna Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is Eagle Eye, the transfer rumor show, where I talk to you about rumors and news surrounding the Arsenal. I hope everybody's well. Please do subscribe, like, please do show this video a lot of love. Like Squad, that's your time. Jump on it. Please absolutely set the standard. Drill that like button like it offended you, like it needs to be slapped. Make sure you grab that. As I always say, for me, the donations are fantastic. They're great. They help the show out. I reinvest it into the show. I buy things like lights, mics, cameras, editing programs, even paying for what I'm filming this on in StreamYard. It's all reinvested back into the show. But what's even better, what's an easy win, an easy donation is them likes. So make sure you get that done for me. Now, first things first, I'm going to address something very, very quickly. So please bear with me before we jump into the story. Um, so today, some of you guys will know this if you're on Twitter. Others won't necessarily know a lot about this. So today marks the 32nd anniversary of my sister's death. So every 14th of May, one of the things I try to do is I always pick up the phone, call my mum, make sure she's okay. And because this particular sister was a twin, I always, text my other sister, make sure she's okay, let her know that I understand what day it is today. Thoughts are with her. I want to just say I apologize if anybody took my Twitter status and assumed that my sister had just passed. I did, I felt like I made it clear in the sense that I put the date that she actually died. I did say 32 years on, always remembered, but the way it's gone viral, like it's literally gone viral. I think I've got down near 300 likes on this thing. I'm worried that people have perhaps assumed that it's imminently happened. It hasn't. It's still a difficult day nonetheless. But like from time when I saw troops say, thoughts and prayers are with you, bruh. I'm like, because troops, bless him, me and him are cool with friends and that, but he doesn't normally reply to my Twitter status. And I thought, oh no, if troops is saying that to me, let me clarify this now. So thank you so much to the amazing amount of love I've had on Twitter, on Facebook. For me, I do this every year. I will put a status on, I'll put a nod on just to kind of A, acknowledge it in case she's watching from up above. And B, from my own family's point of view, it's always a difficult day. It's ironic, it should be a good day because this was also the day that 34 years ago, George Graham was hired, but I can never celebrate that day because of what it's associated with. But yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know that yes, my sister did pass, but it was a long time ago. It was obviously it's a day I remember, but it's not something that imminently happened. I just want to make that nice and clear because my phone keeps going off. I'm like, oh shit, people clearly think this just happened. And I did try and make it clear at the time. I did try and let people know at the time that, listen, this was the day that she passed. It wasn't something that's just happened. She passed when she passed. Like people are saying in the chat, when you clearly you don't forget when your sibling dies. And I won't continue. I won't stop, acknowledging her in the years moving forward. But I think clearly what I'll do next year, just to make it clear that it's not something that imminently happened, is I'll make it very, very clear next time that this is just me mourning her death. That's all. So I just wanted to essentially let people know. But yeah, I'm okay. For people keep asking, I'm fine. I've been shown amazing amount of love. I mean, wow, amazing amount of love. And yeah, I think she'll be proud of you lot. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Much love, genuinely. 300 likes is for something that I mean, anyway, thank you. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way before we get on with the show. So thank you for the love, and let's move forward. All right, let's talk about Mr. Julian Draxler. Do you remember him? Yeah, the guy that plays for Paris Saint-Germain sometimes, occasionally. Well, he's being linked with a move to Arsenal today as potentially Mesut Ozil's replacement. And I think the main reason is that apparently he can be signed for free, potentially. Um, Julian Draxler, if anyone who doesn't know, is 23 now, 24. Oh, she might even be older than that. Let me actually check how old he is. But he's someone that he's been linked with a move for a long time with us. A long time he's been linked with a move to us. He is someone who I even before he moved. Oh no, I thought so. I'm glad I checked it. He was 26. Blimey. The reason I knew he was older is because we've been linked with him for a long time. I remember when I think he was first 20 when we were first linked with him. This is how far back we're going with the Julian Draxler Association. And he ended up moving to PSG. And would it be too harsh to say that the move has been largely uneventful? For me, I've never been particularly impressed by him. I've never been dazzled by him. In the years that I've done this channel, you guys always ask me, what about Julian Draxler? Do you notice I never answer? Because I know that I won't say anything nice. We'll get into a debate, and then you lot will be like, oh, Chig, how could you not want Julian Draxler, but you want X, you want Y? I've never rated this kid. I've never rated this kid. I have never rated this kid. I'm going to be real with you. I mean, he has a decent shot on him. That is it. I've never in his prime, I don't care if he was 21, 22. I know he's had a lot of injuries for such a young guy as well. I just feel like you'd be replacing one problem with another problem. This is Ozil's potential replacement. I think he's on something like £180,000 a week. I don't want none of that smoke. I'm sorry. For me, Rich, I think you're being kind. I think he is okay at best. Okay at best. That is my opinion on that. But yeah, for me, I saw this story and I'm like, oh gosh, it should be inevitable that this story was going to happen. I remember seeing something about it earlier this summer, maybe a few weeks ago. But to be honest, it never really came to anything. I thought, all right, well, they're not going to spend money on him because I'm pretty sure he's got one more year in his contract. But this is not something I want. I'm not gonna lie. But what do you guys think? Is there someone that you'd be interested in? Is there someone that you feel like is there somewhere you feel like he could play? Like, could he do a job on that left hand side? Could he do a job filling in for Mesut Ozil? You know, maybe he just needs a chance to revamp his career. For me, I just want someone a little bit more ready-made. It's completely different if you're talking about a 22-year-old player, but we're talking about a 26-year-old player who's had a lot of injuries, and even when he is injury-free, he ain't that good. Like for me, if you are the same person saying you'd have Draxler, but you wouldn't have Fekir, we can't have this discussion. We can't have this discussion. Because I remember when I brought Fekir to the table for discussion, and you lot were like, no, man, I wouldn't have Fekir. He's too injury prone. But at least when Fekir is fit, it gives you quality. Draxler is injury prone and it don't give you that much quality. So no, no. honestly, for me, he's not good enough for anyone in the top six. That Draxler is the sort of signing that I could see Newcastle making. You know, they need a big name. And okay, you know, they don't need to necessarily spend money on him, apparently. You just take a Julian Draxler and you pay him whatever he wants. That's the sort of risk they should take. That's not the sort of risk I want Arsenal to take. That's the sort of risk Wenger used to like taking. I don't want us to take that type of risk. No, thank you. Let's just move on. Speaking of midfielders, let's talk about Guimaraes or Guimaraes, or however you want to say it, with a Spanish accent. To all my Spanish speakers, I apologize. Sorry, to all my Portuguese speakers, excuse me, I apologize. Guimaraes, the Bruno Guimaraes, the Lyon midfielder. Oh yeah, that's right. He moved to Lyon because if that name sounds familiar to you, that's right. In January, Arteta was in talks for a loan from this guy, from his Brazilian club. I think it was Palmeiras, something like that. And in the end, Lyon was smart. They saw him and they were like, you know what? This could be worth a stab. They laid 18 million on the line and they bought it. But it seems like Lyon are falling apart as a club. I mean, I know that a lot of clubs in the French league are under financial difficulty because they cancelled their season. So you can see why the Premier League are so desperate for this season. All things being equal, I think most people would accept this league really should be cancelled by now. Just give Liverpool the title and move the heck on already, right? This is ideally what I'm sure the Premier League would have liked to have done. But in this particular instance, like you can see, it's having a real toll. I think Lee, shout out to Lee, he did an excellent piece yesterday, an excellent show that I watched. I found very, very interesting, where he essentially broke down actually what these clubs earn on a club by club basis every single year through TV money, because obviously the club's income is made of all different sort of aspects: match day revenue, sponsorship, but predominantly it's TV money. But actually, seeing how some of the clubs they genuinely are surviving due to TV money, you can see why the Premier League is desperate. Like Bournemouth would be finished as a club if they don't finish this season. They would be finished as a club. There is no doubt about it. So, whereas us actually, our TV revenue is about a little less than half of our income, which is quite interesting. So, yeah, I think for everybody, you can see why they're so passionate and desperate to finish the season off. And so, yeah, big shout out to Lee. It's a really good video if you've not seen it. I think it's his Premier League update from yesterday. The video was yesterday. I just can't remember which of the subjects it's in. Anyway, and it kind of made me think, okay, I can now I have a little more understanding about what the Premier League are trying to do. For the French clubs, sorry, I've gone on this tirade because it's trying to appreciate Lyon's situation. They've obviously just bought this player. They have literally just bought this player. They've spent 18 million pounds. I think it was something it's a little over 20 million euros that they spent. And obviously now they're looking to sell him. They're considering to sell most of their assets just to be able to survive as a club. You know, Abour is up for sale. Supposedly, if you believe the rumours, Dembele has more or less agreed to move to Man United for 61 million. They're damn near selling everybody. They're getting stripped for their players. Guimaraes is one of those players who's been linked with a lot of people. I've seen Liverpool being linked with him. Yesterday, I saw Barcelona being linked with him. And today, it's our turn. We're being linked with him. As a player who's a deep-lying player, very silky. I've seen him described as a defensive midfielder. I wouldn't say he's that. He's more what we hoped Granit Xhaka would be, what we hoped Guendouzi would be. For me, he's better than both of those players. It has to be said. I like him. I like him a lot. I like him. He's very confident on the ball, almost not too dissimilar from Man United's Bruno. Very confident on the ball, likes being on the ball, has good vision, excellent passing range. He kind of does what Guendouzi does in the sense that the good part of what Guendouzi does in the sense that, Guendouzi is very good at collecting the ball and then, being fouled. Like he can get a foul very easily, which you might sit there and say, all right, well, what's useful about that? Trust me, a player that doesn't necessarily commit the foul, but can get the foul is a useful player sometimes, especially if they are sat next to, please God, a Thomas Partey. So I think that might be the plan. Gosh, it's wishful thinking. Where's Arsenal going to get this dough from? But I don't know. For me, I think it's inevitable that any central midfielder is going to be linked with us, particularly if that central midfielder is of a decent quality. But from my perspective, I feel like he is a player where if we have a chance of buying him, go for it. The price that's being quoted at the moment is 35 million. So from Lyon's point of view, excellent business. It means literally doubling their money in less than 6 months on an asset. So you can see why they'd want to do it. He's 22 years old, so he's quite young. It seems to be Arteta's MO at the moment. Like he seems to be building quite a young squad. I've seen people make the case for why we should bring in a young team and a young squad, and I get that. I think I always lean to a young team myself. I must admit, it's something that I like. I just like the idea of players growing up together, developing together, learning from each other. But I do think that there is some value in having experience. So that's where I think a Partey, and I know I'm biased, but bias aside for a second, that's why I do think a Partey, regardless of what happens with potentially a Bruno, is very, very important, because especially when you have a young kid there, you need that older head to just say easy. And Partey's still young. My man's still 26. We're talking about someone that's entering the prime of their career. And I think if you could do that, how much better does that midfield sound? Partey alongside Bruno Guimaraes. Now, I also will say this. Personally, I still prefer Abour, who is Lyon's other central midfielder that's also had a price on his head for 40 million. I think a Partey and Abour in the midfield sounds better to me. He's a more rounded player. He's a more experienced player. And he's 20 years old. Makes no sense, but I guess the only thing I will say on that, and if you're sat there thinking, well, how does that work? Rumour has played at he's played at a higher level for longer than, say, a Guimaraes, who's literally just moved to the French league. And Rumour is such a quality player. Such a quality player. I've said this before this summer. We've been linked with 3 players who I would describe as elite level players. One is Thomas Partey. The second is Hussein Abour. The third is Hakimi. If we could pull off, to be honest, one would be amazing. If by some miracle we could pull off 2 of those 3, though, oh shit. So he's 21, Ben. Yeah, okay, sorry. Must have recently turned 21. So, yeah, I think for me, and then you're bringing in a player who is 21, a player who's 26, you've instantly elevated your midfield, a midfield which I've said for some time is the actual problem in our team. I don't care who you put in there. You can put Koulibaly in there. Ultimately, if he's playing behind a Granit Xhaka, he's still going to struggle. Even if you decide you want to keep Xhaka, it's not what I would do, but even if you decide you want to keep Xhaka, all right, sit his punk ass on the bench and put in an actual decent midfield. Put in a decent midfield. If he does that For me, I have no problems with Arteta. At least I can see him actively trying to improve that team and really trying to improve that team. Me, again, if you're asking me what would you do with the youngsters, I'd send Willock on loan. I'd may be tempted to keep Emil Smith Rowe at least until January just to see what he's got. But I'd send Willock on loan. I've seen enough. For me, I'm not confident he's good enough. You know, I'd be potentially selling Torreira just to raise some funds. So for those people who ask me, so where are you going to get all this money from? Sell Torreira. Fuck it. At this point, just fuck it. I'd rather sell Granit Xhaka, but I'd be shocked if Arteta parts ways with Granit Xhaka. So sell Torreira. Sell him. Sell him. Start to raise some funds. Sell some of this deadwood that we have as well. Like, people keep asking where we're going to get this money from. We have money there. Just sell these people. Can't be telling me you can't get 15 million for Mustafi. Mustafi's still 27. I know he's only got a year left on his contract. Get 15 million for him and flog him. Oh man, it's so frustrating watching Arsenal work. You know, I heard it's going to be effectively a shorter transfer window this year because of everything that's happening, right? That don't fill me with confidence because Arsenal have a lot to do. I said this from the very get-go. I think I said this in November. The biggest thing Arsenal need to do before buying anybody, even a Partey, you guys know how much I want him, is to sell some motherfuckers. Sell, sell, sell. And mind you, that was pre-COVID. We need to sell people. Sell them. And then reevaluate. You know, I like, you guys know I like Callum Chambers. At this point, just sell him, sell Rob Holding. I'm not messing around out here. While we're talking about defenders, speaking of which, Spurs have decided, you know what? We're doing our usual dithering over Disasi. They're going to mosey on in there and try and get him. And I think it was the other day, maybe a couple of days ago, that the chairman of the team he plays for was hardcore talking Disasi up and how he's going to be an amazing asset in England, and how he's confident he's going to play next year in England. And in my mind, I was thinking to myself, why is he talking my man up so hard? What's happening? Like, what's happening? Something imminently about to happen. And then all of a sudden, because Spurs need defenders, you know, I know they just signed up Toby, but I think what's his name is out of contract. Vertonghen is out of contract, isn't he? So they also need defenders. Quite frankly, even if Vertonghen wasn't out of contract, they need defenders. So we need to worry. We're worrying. I like Chambers, but you just sell Chambers, sell Holden, sell Mustafi, sell Socrates. Yes, I'd get rid of all four at this point. Get rid of all four. Personally, I'd get rid of Luiz, but I understand the counter argument to keeping him because I don't think he's been that great. But I understand the counter argument of keeping him. Fine, leave David Luiz there to play as last year. Bring in some defenders. Yeah, even if Mari is one of them, I still want an actual defender to join alongside him. Then you're set. That would be personally what I do. Then bring in a right back, whether it's Aaron's, whether it's Hakimi, whether it's someone else, someone that can play that right back, or at the very least give Hector Bellerin some competition. Whether it's the PSG right back that's out of contract, whoever, just give my man some competition. And then let's get it moving. Speaking of fullbacks, Tagliafico from Ajax is again being linked with a move to Arsenal. I think he's 28 years old now, 27 maybe, 27 years old. He's recently told Ajax that he wants to leave the club. He sees himself essentially at a bigger club. That's what he's basically told them, and that he'd be seeking a move in the summer. Subsequently, we are being linked with a move for him because I guess he's a long-term target. He was a long-term target even prior to Kieran Tierney coming on board. And for some reason, we keep being linked with left backs. We keep being linked with left backs. So my guess is that Arteta wants some competition. Let me tell you something. Tagliafico and Tierney as competition left back wise sounds like a real head-to-head tussle because he's quality. He's a very, very good left back. Very good left back. I must admit, me personally, I still want to see Tierney being given his chance because I still think he's an excellent left back. But I also think competition sometimes is good for players. And I feel like Tierney is of a stubborn sort of nature where he'd be like, you know what? I don't give a fuck who you bring. I'm going to be the starting left back here anyway. So I'm all for it. Bring him on board is my kind of my attitude. But I don't know what you guys think. Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Have I talked about every single story? Please do stick a like as I just have a double check. Suppose I can talk about that as well. I suppose let me talk about this final story before I go into the chat room. So Arsenal are basically now favourites for Luka Jovic. So if Luka Jovic decides to move, Arsenal are favourites to get him. What Real Madrid and Zizou has basically said is, listen, if we get a £60 million bid, because we need to do a lot in the summer, we need money. If we get a £60 million bid, then yeah, we'll be happy to have him on board. Now, for me, there's no chance Arsenal are going to pay £60 million for Luka Jovic. And to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't want us to pay £60 million for Luka Jovic. But what that does do is the very obvious, okay, well, if you want Aubameyang, then give us Jovic. Now, I know people are a little bit lukewarm to that idea now, since hearing about the potential link with Icardi and obviously his wife winding up Arsenal fans with that picture. Like I say, for me, that was confirmation he ain't coming to the club. Because never in life do you see that and then that person ends up being at the club. It never happens. So as soon as I saw that, I thought, okay, well, bang goes that dream. Because that's not going to happen now. But no, yeah. Obviously, he's being linked with a move to Arsenal. Another one who is apparently set to cost 60 million. And I guess that's the question I wanted to throw back at you guys today. I'm almost doing a Robbie these days. I'm throwing back questions back to you guys. Obviously, both of these strikers are being rated at £60 million apiece. For one for Mario Icardi, the other for Luka Jovic. If Arsenal, by some miracle, had £60 million to pay for either striker following Aubameyang and let's say Lacazette both leaving, who would you prefer for that money to be paid for? Who would you prefer for that money to be paid for? The 27-year-old, but maybe somewhat proven, very troublesome Mario Icardi, or the still jury's out on 22-year-old, has the potential to reinvigorate his career, Luka Jovic? That'll be the real question that I would ask you guys. Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Right, now, what I'm going to do is 7:30 as I cover this. Pretty much I think I've covered all the stories now. Once again, thank you so much to the love that I've been shown today. Again, now that there is 77 people watching, 79 people watching, please do, first of all, A, stick a like on this video, and B, let me just hold your attention 1 minute, and that is, let me just clarify. My sister has not imminently passed or recently passed away. God forbid. I'm talking about my sister from over 30 years ago who passed away, and that was the status I put on Twitter. I think people have misunderstood it because I've had a ridiculous amount of likes and attention on it. That was not supposed to be the case. It's something I do every single 14th of May. is just to kind of acknowledge my sister who passed away over 30 years ago. And that was all essentially I wanted to do. But I still thank every single person that has shown me love all day today. The only reason I even knew that maybe that people have probably taken this way too far and they've misunderstood it was when Troops got back to me. And I thought, for Troops to get back to me and say, my thoughts are with you, brother. I was like, now me and Troops are friends, but he doesn't normally respond to my tweets that often. So I was like, okay, I think something as bad has happened. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to kind of just thank everybody for their love. And yeah, that's pretty much that. All right. Let's see what you lot are saying. Please do stick a like on this video. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Should get my other banner out for that, really, shouldn't I? Yeah, please subscribe and like, guys. That's what this is. Make sure you get it done for me. That would be fantastic. Every single day I bring you a show like this. Bringing you a show like this even tomorrow. So make sure you check that out. The only day off I have from Laguna Eagle Eye is Saturday. Sunday, I bring a podcast. I'm going to see if I can get Claude and Kenny Ken on that podcast on Sunday. They don't know it yet. And Claude usually runs shows every single day himself, so I can make sure he's not doing one with the Banter Boys. But as long as that's not happening and we're not clashing, then I'll do a podcast on Sunday. Tomorrow, the combat show, link is in the description below. Me, Ola, will be going live tomorrow at 9:30. So make sure you check that out. Do hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. You guys have been great with that. I noticed the numbers are just building and building and building on that one. So make sure you check that out. Chick Flicks. So the reason I have Saturday off this channel is so I can show Chick Flicks attention on Saturday. So that'll be the channel I mainly work on Saturday. I'm going to drop 3 reviews on there. 3 reviews. So make sure you check that out. We're going to be attacking a few series, a couple of film stuff. So make sure you check that out. It's always a lot of fun working on Chick Flicks. All right, let's see what you lot are saying. So No Jovic is out for 5 months. Or is it 5 months now? I knew it was at least 2. But is it for 5 months? Nimsy says Jovic and 20 million. So I didn't think Nimsy would go for that. Interesting. Okay. 60 million for Jovic. Ben laughs at that idea. Okay. Omar. Oh, no one's all that for you, Omar. No one. 45, I would. By the way, guys, and I'm talking mainly to Omar and Georgie that did this yesterday. Guys, when someone else is live, when I'm on live, let me at least wrap up before you start advertising somebody else's show in the chat. I hate it when people do that. Dive into the chat and goes, oh, my man's live, my man's live. I'm like, brother, what's going on? Driving the crowd away, like. I was Black Scorpion in the house. Yes, he is. He is. I've already plugged the show, brother. I've already plugged the show. Yes, you know when you did that, Omar. You know exactly when you did that. Georgie did that shit yesterday. And I think Jahid did that as well. No, it's all right, brother. It's all right. Thank you, Wilson, my brother. That's my long time ride or die, Wilson, right there. It's my long time ride or die. Any questions, guys? Because I'm literally going to nip off in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Jahid, I may be wrong about that one, but I feel like you are also one of the people that did that. But if I'm wrong, I apologize. But Omar and Georgie, I'm definitely sure about. He ain't coming to us. Werner ain't coming to us. 'Cause I know that's one that Lee's in love with. I told him from day dot, Timothy Werner ain't coming to us. God bless your sister soul. Thank you, Aswal. That's very kind. Thank you. Party on Ndidi. I've been asked this before, and people would expect me to pick Ndidi because I'm Nigerian. I pick Party. It's the very first time I'll pick a Ghanaian over a Nigerian. Very first and last time. But no, all seriousness, honestly, I think he's the more complete player. And I like Ndidi. He's still young. He's still got some developing to go. He's obviously very, very good. But to be honest, I think he has slightly better PR than his ability. Just slightly. Slightly. It's just my opinion. And you guys know, this is my country guy. So I should be like properly defending him. I'm just being honest. Now, Georgie is obviously a Leicester fan, so he might have a slightly different view. But in my opinion, I think Partey is the more complete player. Don't get it twisted. Both of them are supremely better than anything we have in our team. Supremely better. Yeah, is this? Remind me what actually happened. I only saw a little bit of the story. He was about to sign for Valencia and then didn't. Let me know a little bit about that. I didn't really read the full story. Obviously, if he's available again, then Arsenal need to be looking closely at him. Because supposedly he's like really, really good. What do I think of Fekir, Partey, and Edward coming in? Right, Mr. Anderson. I know you're another one who's a long time rider of mine, but I've been saying for months, Partey's. If I could only have one signing, it'd be Partey. Fekir, I still rate him. The knee does worry me, but I still rate him. And Edouard, I like the look of him. I like him more. I like him better as a Lacazette replacement than I do as an Aubameyang replacement. That's my only thing with Edouard. Indeed, he's more of a DM party than Partey, but not better technically. Yeah, I think Chelsea. I think that's probably accurate. Yeah, I think that's probably an accurate way of playing it because Partey is not a DM. He's very good at doing the role, but he's more of a Patrick Vieira type. I would have never described Patrick Vieira as a DM, but he was excellent defensively. He's of a similar sort of ilk. Would you sign Arcadi and replace Lacazette? Um, Actually, no, I wouldn't. Let me tell you why I wouldn't do that. I feel like there'll be a weird dynamic with Arcadi and Aubameyang in the same team. I think that maybe you guys might be thinking I'm looking into this. This is me being too HR. I feel like Aubameyang is the alpha male in that dressing room, and Arcadi seems like the type of person that would command the dressing room coming in as well. I feel like that would upset the balance a little bit. So I don't think for some reason, I just got a feeling they would not work well together. Whereas I think a Jovic and a Bamiyang could work well together, in my opinion. Actually, I think Jovic could learn a lot from a Bamiyang, actually. Is Partey as good as Bruno? Um, yeah, but he also has 4 years on Bruno. I'd love to see both of them play together. That would be great. I just don't see Arsenal paying damn near 80 million for their midfield. I just don't see it happening. Keep in mind they highly rate Guendouzi. Arteta loves him some Granit Xhaka. So I don't see that happening. But arguably that's what needs to happen. F4 freestylers, cheek. Would you like a game of FIFA later, mate? RIP to your sister. Thoughts are with you today. Do you know what, mate? Today I'm going to give it a miss for obvious reasons. And this weekend I'm a little busy. Can we do it next weekend? I'd love it. I'd love to do it next weekend. I'll be on my FIFA grind because I'll set everything up. I'll be doing a lot of FIFA streaming next Saturday for the members. I'll have that all set up. So yeah, if we can do it next weekend, that'd be great. I'll even play some of the members on FIFA. So yeah. Chig, are you and Kelechi friends? So I know I have met Kelechi a few times. He even stopped me at Frimsby Park Station once when I was on my way back from work. I think he was on his way to a game. So I know who he is. With me and Kelechi are cool though. Party's an overall player. Edouard and David is pretty much the better deal to replace Aubameyang and Lacazette. Maybe even loan Dembele. Thoughts, Chief? I think that's overkill. I think also the other thing you could say is you don't want to necessarily dampen the talent we do have, which is your Martinellis. I think we need to be brave, and my kind of thing would be bring a winger in, bring a striker in, even if one of those wingers was a Dembele and a striker was an Usman, maybe bring in the two Dembeles, so to speak, and then bring in Usman Dembele and Usman Edouard. Sorry, I got them confused. Edouard, bring them in, promote Martinelli to the number 2 guy, and then go from there. Maybe that might be the way forward. I quite like Pepe as a number 10. I was thinking about this the other day. I like him as a number 10. I think I said this on this channel before. I like him as a number 10 because I don't think this right-hand side thing works because you know what he's going to do every single time. Whereas if you put him, he likes passing anyway. So if you put him as a number 10, automatically you've now got a dynamic number 10 that can go either way on the ball, can strike the ball, can take good free kicks. I like that for Pepe. I don't like this right-hand side shit. Because the way he needs to play, in order for Pepe to get the best he can on the right-hand side, you need to tell him not to defend. And we're not going to do that. So I feel like maybe that's the way forward. Play Pepe as a number 10. I don't know if I trust Pepe necessarily enough to play up top, because I think for you to be able to play up top, you've got to be really good at headering the ball. You've got to be good at holding up the ball. I'm not sure he has that to his game. But as a number 10, I like that more. That's just my opinion on that. What do you guys think? Yeah, apparently Arteta's had phone calls with Paul Torres. Oh, is it? Well, it makes sense. Supposedly Santi was tapping the man up. He openly admitted it. I'm all for it because he's a very good defender. Very good defender. I just assumed that deal was done and he was off to Valencia because he went. In fact, yeah, he was off to Valencia and I just assumed that deal was done. But now that it seems to have fallen through, maybe we can get it done. He's going to be pricey though. That's my only concern about that deal. You may even find that he's pricier than Upamecano. Let me ask you guys that question. Yeah, I like throwing shit back at you. What do you prefer, Upamecano or Pau Torres? I'll ask you that question. No polls, just a straight up consensus in the chat room. Party's very good at the ball. Would you take Alan from Napoli? I quite like Alan. I know that Lee's not a huge fan of any of those Napoli players other than Koulibaly. I like Alan. I think he's all right. Icardi's better than. Oh, he's absolutely better than Laka. Don't get it twisted. For me, you know me, I'm a psychology guy. I'm thinking more about dynamic in the team. Like, look at what Hacks has just said below. This is an excellent example of what I'm talking about. Quality wise, of course, you would have all three of those players in the team. Practicality wise, imagine those three in the same team. All big egos, all demanding, all have reputations, let's face it, for being problems in the dressing room. Yes, we ain't seeing that from Aubameyang, but let's not act like he doesn't have this reputation. And I just feel like if you put those elements together, I think you're asking for trouble. I don't like the feel of that. Whereas I think Jovic looks like more of a humble character to me, you know? Dembele looks like more of a humble character than a Depay, for example. Like I say, quality-wise, of course, you'd have all three of them in the team. But sometimes you just got to think a bit longer. I work in HR. Long term is what I have to do, bro. I'm a strategy guy. Um, Man management. It's going to take more than man management to manage those elements. Much more. Replace Aubameyang with Pepe Chig. I think I've just answered that. Just answered that. I don't know. I don't like him up front. I like Pepe as a number 10 now. I'm feeling Pepe as a number 10. Balogun Chig. Oh, if you have to ask me by now, Chig, I'm waiting for that smoke. R.I.P. to your sister, my brother. Thank you, Bertrand. Much love, my guy. Much love. In a heartbeat, you guys know this already. Chelsea, I like reading Chelsea's comments because they either anger me or I heavily agree with it. Let's see what he has to say. Chig, I need you to spread more Fabian Ruiz propaganda. In my opinion, the best midfielder in the market. Arsenal should try and acquire him. He's my number one sign. I like him. I like it. I'm a little surprised we've not been linked with him. So you're right. I like him. I do like him. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? With Chelsea, it's one or the other. One or the other. Him and Nimsy are usually the two people that do that to me. Either I absolutely hate what they put, or I find myself agreeing. Bertrand, don't worry. You're number one on the list of smoke. Lee, you, and then F4 freestylers. We'll get that smoke. I would take. I'm not a big fan of Draxler either. Taib, you must have come late, my bro. I've been dressing down the idea of this guy. Oh, for real? Oh, okay. I've not had a chance to check the news out yet. But okay, let's see what happens. I think ultimately either you cancel the football season or you do this. There's a lot of money still left in it. You could argue that does money mean more than life, but it's not like England are the only one taking their chances on this. So you can understand why they're taking the risk. Martinelli has to play. That's my favorite Aussie, right? Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Um, the only issue is that he hasn't had an overlap of being the only body stretching side on the pitch. Yeah. Uh, Pepe isn't decisive enough to be number 10. I think I disagree with that. I think in it, I do think he's had moments of indecision, but I also think that actually, if you play him centrally, he's always looking to try and cut in. That's the problem. He's always looking to come in. Whereas I think if you present him with the fuller picture and said, all right, Pepe, I'm going to play you as a number 10. Let's see how you go. I think he would surprise people. I also think that, and this is where I know I'm going to cause some controversy, but I'll say it anyway. I also think he's played a lot better than you're not giving credit for. More often than not, me and Lee have watched many games, and we're the ones always uh, uh, we're always happy with what Pepe's done. In terms of how he's built up play. More often than not, he's the best player on the pitch. But I get it because he's 70 million and he has abandoned 20 goals. He's automatically deemed as a failure. To me, he's not a flop. Not yet. Not yet. I have utmost belief in this guy. Utmost belief that he's going to succeed. Hacks prefers Zapamacano to Torres. No one answered that question. I just realized that. Hold on. Let me look up and see if actually anyone did. Look at Liverpool, you never walk alone. Pepe, left footed Iwobi. They're all right, mate. Omar actually said there's a player Omar actually rates, and there's Pau Torres. Omar, you're disappointing. Mr. Oh, I've never heard of Christopher Reyes. I saw you say that on the Arsenal YouTube page and Lee's. Like, brother, you got to look into your history. Mr. South London's finest is another guy. Like, just him and Sir Antonius Block are two guys. I honestly thought they were the same guys at one point, but I think one of them's black or one of them's white. But I just like their vibe. Very laid back, very cool guys, both of them. Long time riders as well. It says Apamecano, Medwin, Pau Torres. Chig, would you stop asking me this question? I've said it 80 million times. Yes, yes, yes. Apamecano. You guys are just in love with Apamecano, innit? Apamecano suits the Premier League. Yeah, I agree. I think so does Pau Torres, to be honest. I think so does Pau Torres. Um, Pepe created created 9 key threaded passes at Lille. 4 of those led to goals. How is he not decisive? Oh my gosh. Have me and Chelsea agreed on 3 things today? What's going on? Let Chelsea handle my work when it comes to Pepe. Shit. Tell them. Tell them. They don't understand. Oh, I can't wait. You are gonna hate me when Pepe kills it next season. You're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate me. Someone Chig is going overdrive on this channel. Upper from Rich. Rich is another one in that Sir Antonius block. South London Beach finest. Just 3 very cool, laid back guys. Long time riders as well. Liverpool, you never walk alone. Tell them. Stop spanning the room. Michael, this is a new name. Hold on, let me dedicate some time. F4 freestylers, I'm going to get to your question in a second. Hi, Chig, would you take a prime Bergkamp or a prime Vieira in Arsenal right now? RIP to your sister. Thank you, my guy. Thank you. Oh, no. Oh, no. We need them both. A Bergkamp because we're going to get Partey. Sorry, Patrick. Sorry. Sosboskli or Aour. I think they're both ballers. Aour, but just. But honestly, I couldn't care less. Either one would be a massive improvement on our team. Ruiz would be like 80 million. Dembele has real unreal talent up there with the Sanchez. People forget it was the guy, not Mbappe. Yep. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know if I spend 53 million, but I like a loan. I like a loan. I like a loan. Chig, that comes down to Arteta, if the so-called fantastic manager everyone raves about. Well said, Ben. Well said. Mantis, I think we should go out for Pereira from West Brom to replace Ozil. I can't say I've seen enough of him. I'm a bit worried he's from the Championship, but I do like Bruno from Norwich. If you wanted to go for a cheap replacement, I replace Aubameyang with Pepe. It makes sense. Okay. It's not a number 9 to me, but a number 10 for sure. I could see that. Would you take Depay? He was linked last week. He is quality. He's shown his quality. To be fair, he was quality at United, but he's really blossomed into a nice player. I'd be tempted. I would be tempted. I do know psychology. I do. Let me scroll down because I just realized I am way behind you guys. All right, let me head up out of here because I know AFTV is about to go live in 5 minutes, and someone's going to go, "Oh, Robbie's live! Robbie's live!" Like, brother. Chig. Oh, this is the guy that hates me swearing. Chig. Remember, fans act on popularity, not facts. Yeah, I don't do none of that. I don't do none of that crap here. I was gonna swear, and then I remembered you didn't like that. Magalaris Gabriel. I like him. I like him as a player. From being truthful, he's probably third on the list. But I do like him as a player. Chelsea, Pepe, in my opinion, is playing to his standards. I didn't have high standards that everyone tried to bring him up. I tried to tell people he wasn't the finished article, but he did have a, a stat pad last season. Sorry, has stat pad season. Um, yes, he's not the finished article. I think people forget he's only 24. His first season where he's had 4 different managers. And even then, I think he's done okay given that this is his season and it's still not finished. Just imagine this is your first season in the Premier League. You've had 4 different managers. And that season, by the way, is now interrupted. I mean, flipping heck, all things considered, he ain't done that bad. All right, couple more questions. I'm out of it. Give me 2 more questions. I'm out of it. I've done some real OT today. Chig, would I take Gerson? The more I think about it, F4, nah. Only if we had no other option. But nah. I'll take Guimaraes, for example, before I took him. Pepe is a very creative winger. He hasn't established the understanding of movement. That's the difference between him and Martinelli. Yeah, I think for me, it's transition that he hasn't understood. So he normally likes the ball ahead of him, for example, than him running onto it. But what Arsenal force players to do is because they force you to defend so deep, you have to be part of that transition. You can't be the end of that transition, which is what he's used to. And I think if you can add that side to his game, he'll be a better player. And maybe that's what Arteta's trying to get into him because he's such a good dribbler. There's no reason that he can't be part of that transition. Uh, One more question, and then I'm out of here. Thing is, Pepe comes too deep. I think the manager asked him to do it though. Well, give me one really good question. Agreed. Um, Pepe would be decent if Özil could read again. I don't give that excuse to Özil or Xhaka, so I'm not going to give it to Pepe either. You've got to be able to learn to play with whoever. Can't rely on one player to be the reason that you play well. If I don't give that out to Granit Xhaka and Özil, I'm not giving that out to Pepe either. Come on, give me one more. Okay, I'll go with Ben's. If Pepe doesn't come good next season, then we call him a flop. Not exactly saying that Pepe's a flop right now. No, but I must admit I'll be judging him a lot closely next season. I'll be more tougher on him next season. I usually give it 3 years personally, but I must admit if he's that poor next season, I'm still prepared to write him off if he's not done well. All right, that is me. I'm out of it. I've done a full hour, guys. You guys should be proud. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Please do stick a like on this video. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Just press that subscribe button. And numbers are slowly starting to creep up again, which is great. Let's see if we can get to that 8K mark before the end of the revised season. And yeah, guess I'm out of it, guys. I guess you can now go and enjoy AFTV in peace without me bitching. So take care. Enjoy your evening. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, I'm out. Peace.